you're an independent contractor, or a business owner, or what. But one of the big challenges is what makes you different from the thousands of other people doing that, right? And one of the things that you face are, especially in real estate or financial planning or insurance, things like that, that's kind of the fields I've been in. It seems like there's a lot of us out there. So the challenge is, how do you separate yourself from the herd? How do you become the red umbrella in a sea of black umbrellas? So I want to talk a little bit about that today. So as far as small businesses and groups or individuals, and you may not own the business, maybe you're a sales rep for the business or whatever the case may be, but your job, your existence is there to make a difference and bring in clients to hear your story at least. Maybe not necessarily buy your products every time, but at least get them in front of the story. Would you say that's correct? Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So two things you need to consider. One is, how do I make my business stand out? You know, when somebody asks you what to do or what you do, and I've seen this in real estate a lot, oh, I'm a realtor with such and such. Okay, and I've heard the comment too, and if there are any realtors in here, no offense, because I get the same thing I do, is realtors are a dime a dozen. They seem to be everywhere. Insurance, financial planners, they're everywhere, right? So, you know, that question is, how do I present my story in a way that attracts my ideal client? And there is an ideal client for you. It's not everybody. So we'll talk about that in a little bit too. So when you ask somebody what makes you different from your competition, you need to think of a few things, right? So first off, can you answer that question confidently, telling them, you know, what it is about their challenge that you can solve? And that's really the crux of it, right? Nobody cares what you have unless it solves a problem for them. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So secondly, and excuse that, I was doing this last night when I found out that I was actually going to be here today. How does your audience feel, or how do you help your audience feel that bridge, you know, that solution you bring? Do they get it? You know, what are you saying in that quick 15 seconds, 30 seconds that you have with them to catch their attention? What are you saying that they go, this is a person I need to talk to? Helen's the one that's going to solve this for me, right? So lastly, do you clearly describe that special thing that makes you their ideal choice? Why you? What about you is different? And before you start running down the path on, okay, I'm going to throw this together, you got to really stop for a second and kind of get back to basics. So you got to really, you know, sit down and block out some time. And I know it's difficult for everything that we do, and blocking out quiet time, thinking time, to kind of strategize on what is it that makes me different. Okay, what is it about my business attracts people? You know, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about you, and I guess me too, but you know, things to think about. And I want you to, when you do this, you don't just want to sit there and think out loud over a beer or chat with some friends. You need to really block out some quiet time and put pen to paper, okay? Because you know, you can remember things, you're going to remember maybe 10% of what I say today, but if you're writing things down, you're going to remember probably about 50%, and some say a little higher, but I think you're going to have some go away, but I think we can all agree that what you write down sticks with you, okay? So the first thing is, what do your past clients really appreciate about your service? You know, think about that. You've got clients, right? We've all had clients, unless you're brand spanking new into sales, and we're all selling whether you think you're a salesperson or not, but what do clients like about you? Why you? You know, what about you, Jay, that people like working with you? So write that down, right? So the second thing is, what do your long-term clients think about you? You know, if you've been around the block for a little bit, you know, I've got some gray hair, these aren't highlights, I earned these, right? So you look at that, and it's, why are they sticking with you? Maybe you've left companies and they've gone with you. You know, you see that a lot too. Why? Okay, so you need to articulate that and actually write that down, okay? Because this is going to become part of your story, okay? And then lastly, what's one of the nicest things that somebody's ever told you about working with you, about your business, about, you know, what you did for them? And I've had a couple of my clients tell me, you know, why they chose me was, John, I walked out of the first conversation with you more educated about money than I ever have with any other advisor I've had or anybody that I've ever sat down with. And it's because of my approach. The way I approach people with money is, I don't have a conversation over your head and get you confused and you're just like, well, I'm just going to pay you because you're the expert to do it. No. My job, my role is to help you understand how money works. You know, why is it not so much about how much money you grow, it's about how much money you actually get to keep, right? So I spend a lot of time on taxes, those kind of things. So all of a sudden light bulbs start going off. And I'm meeting that client's need, and bringing my story, my solution to the table, and they get it. They're connecting their own dots. It's not me trying to force feed them. Do you follow me on that? So that's really kind of the big picture on where you kind of need to go with your story. So, before you even start thinking about it, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself these questions and put pen to paper, okay? And this is going to start helping you create those solutions. So here are kind of 5 ways to differentiate your business, okay? And these are some things to think about. So the first thing is really narrow your target market. I see a lot of people, especially when they're first in, and even in our business, right? When you're first in getting into sales, especially, anybody by a show of hands commission only? Okay, a couple of people out there, right? You're getting that commission only job, and it's like new products, new this, that, and the other. Man, I'm walking up to people, you need to hear about what I'm doing, right? I feel that pulse, you need to see this. And you go through and you spend a lot of cycles and a lot of energy talking to people that have no interest in what you're doing, no interest in X, Y, or Z, no need for your product, yet you're still spending that time with them, okay? So really fine tune what you are an expert in, okay? Maybe not an expert, but what you're good at. Okay, and that's even in your business. If you're not, good at payroll or good at X, Y, Z, hire that stuff out. If you're thinking of yourself as a C-level in your own company, and if it's only you are the C-level, don't be doing $10 an hour work. Okay, so not only narrow your scope inside of your business, but narrow the people you're talking to. Find those people that are looking for you. Okay, that need your product. I saw a gentleman by the name of Tom Love. I don't know if you know him or not. He's a mentor, he's a competitor, he's a good guy, he's a crazy guy. But he taught me about, really honing in on the 10% that need you. Okay? Now, for me, I think it's a little wider than that, but I don't try to convince people. Okay? I try to identify, do you have a certain problem? You have 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason, right? You're asking questions and listening to them. And then your job is to connect the dots between what they need and what you have. And if they don't have a need, move on. Don't waste your time. Don't waste their time. Because what's going to happen if you try to force feed it, they're going to regret you and they're going to tell everybody about it. Okay? And you become that guy or that girl just trying to hawk your wares to anybody. Okay? You don't want to be that person. Number 2 is focus on superior customer service. I'm looking around the room, I don't see any millennials here. I see a young lady, 2 young ladies, right? But I'm gonna guess you're not millennials, but the one problem I have with the millennial generation, it's not everybody, but there seems to be a lack of that focus on the customer service experience.
Yes, it is.
Okay? It's all about, hey, go click this and do that. I'm gonna sit on the beach, or I'm gonna play, my online game while you're buying stuff from me. And that's okay. And I'm telling you, it's not. Mediocrity in today's environment has become the accepted norm. And I get furious when I see it anymore. I have absolutely zero problem paying more to somebody who's going to give me service, who's going to make me feel special. Okay? And I don't care if I'm buying a tie, I don't care if I'm buying a new car, I don't care what it is. If they make me feel special, I'm going to come back to them. I had a lady that cut my hair, and I don't go to a high-end place, but I was following her around like a stalker. I actually went online and found her and said, hey, I went to your store today, you weren't there. Oh, I'm over at this store now. And I followed her. Why? Because she does an excellent job. She gives me excellent customer service, and that's the result. So you need to focus on that with your business as well. Number 3, solve a problem. Okay, if you're not solving people's problems, what are you doing, right? You're just selling stuff. And if you're okay with that, that's great, but I don't think long term that's going to make you happy, and it's definitely not going to make your clients happy, because what's going to happen is about 15 minutes after you walk out the door, they're having what? Buyer's remorse. Yep. Why did I do this? That was a waste of money. And they're not going to become that advocate for you in your business, are they? No, and so that's what you're trying to create, right? So solve that problem. Be known as the expert in your field. Okay, you don't have to be an expert in everything. Okay, know what you know what you don't know, but also know where to go to get that information that you don't know. I make a job or a goal of mine to surround myself with people that are way smarter than me. I always want to be the stupidest person in the room. Okay? Now, it's not so they can feel better about themselves, like Helen was making fun of me earlier. I'm kidding. No, I didn't. No, I'm kidding. But it's all about, I want to learn from other people, right? And that's how you become better. Hone in on, what it is about your service or your company or your product that really matches with people, and solve that problem, okay, and become an expert on, hey, this is one way. When I say the word insurance, what do most people think about? Either car insurance or term life insurance, right? That's about the one or two big crux, okay? So my job is in insurance or securities to show them, no, I'm not talking about the product. I'm going to talk about what it can do for you, okay? I'm going to talk about what it means, even on a term insurance policy, what it means to your family when you're no longer there, okay? Or on securities, what is your retirement going to look like? Most people I deal with in retirement, they all want to retire. I have yet to have anybody that never wants to retire, but they don't ever have a plan, and they've never sat down and done the math. And you start showing that, and I can show you how to get there. Not me, I'm not talking about you guys, but just that's what I do with my product, right? So you've got to take that with your product line and become the expert. How many ways can I apply it? How many problems can this solve? And don't be a one-trick pony. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So lastly, is make it east to do business with you. If you're in the West, you can't. I can tell you, I did this last night, guys. Make it easy to do business with you, okay? You don't want to be difficult to reach. You don't want to have, and I talk to people all the time, I'll try to get a hold of them, hey, your voicemail's full. I don't know how many times that happened to you when you're trying to reach somebody or something, like your voicemail's full. I talk to my reps, I'm like, your voicemail's full. I had a client just reach out to me all ticked off. They had $500,000 they wanted to roll over and couldn't get a hold of you, so now they want to do it with me. Now, I totally made that up. But they're like, oh, are you kidding me? What's going on? Yeah, that's my point. That could have happened, right? If somebody's trying to reach you, and have a backup plan, just like Melissa, okay? Melissa's out. She planned this to be here today. She was going to speak, and she's like, John, I screwed up. I thought, it was the following week, and I messed up on my dates. I don't want to leave the group hanging, and I want to make sure we're represented. Can you go in and step? She had a backup plan. Kind of last minute backup plan, but that's my point. So if you're going to be out, whether you're working with your reps or your clients, make sure you communicate that to them. Especially in our business, and especially if you're a business owner, there is no 5 o'clock checkout time. Okay, there is no 6 o'clock. Now, I don't want my clients calling me at midnight, but I let them know, hey, I set the expectation, I set the stage. You have full access to me, but I may not answer the phone, okay? But I'll get back to you within 24 hours. And if you call me after 8 o'clock at night, you're not going to get me. You're going to get my voicemail. And that's okay, because leave a voicemail and I'll call you back the next day. And I make sure they have access to their accounts online. So they can do this, that, or the other and have full access and transparency. Again, I don't want to be the bottleneck. I don't want to be the person slowing them down. I just want to be the guide to help them in their decision making. Okay? So that's it. That's all I got. Here's our contact information, or I don't know why I got really happy with that. SaveMoneyRoadmap.com, that's our website. It'll take you to our Facebook page. Not a whole lot about me, but what I do is I'm all about educating people, okay? So I spend a lot of time with articles that are third-party articles, not stuff I've written, but things I found that, hey, here's how you budget, here's how you save money, here's about taxes, why is X, Y, Z important? So take some time, go out there, share with your friends and family, but that's all I have. Thank you very much for your time, and I think I'm well within my 10 minutes.